Marketing your chapter for audience, members, or performance requires a full arsenal of outlets. You need a plan for your product, your price, and your place, which brings you to promotion. We often, inadvertently, leave members out of the equation in favor of advertising. It's important to have advertising, but it can be really costly. If you're marketing on a shoestring, then member engagement is essential. Your members create the word-of-mouth advertising that's so important. To be successful with your members, you need a unified message, or what I call a chapter vocabulary. In this presentation, we're going to concentrate on one element of marketing, your chapter's features and benefits. The feature and benefit concept has been around for a long time. It's taught in sales seminars and used to build corporate and individual elevator speeches. In the world of barbershop, it's easy to get bogged down in the minutia. We forget to look at the big picture. So take a moment and ask, why should we even spend time on our features and benefits? We are busy. Work is piling up. Well, the reason that we do it is because it's the beginning of building a chapter vocabulary that engages your members in the marketing process. It helps define your chapter, helps you figure out what sets your chapter apart, and aids in deciding how your chapter compares to other performance groups in your community. To begin the process, we need to recognize who we are and what we are. We need to understand our features and benefits. Then we add a pinch of passion to make the message that much more attractive. When these ingredients come together, you increase your success in finding new audience or in your efforts for recruiting, regaining, and retaining chapter members. The short definition of features and benefits is, features is what something has, and the benefit is what it does for my members or my audience. The Barbershop Harmony Society, Evergreen District, and your chapter have a huge array of features. The question is, what are the benefits and who receives them? Here's a brief example using a simple umbrella. You can see that the features include a real wood handle, waterproof material, and unbreakable design. That's what you'd expect. But when you add the benefits, blocking out harmful rays from the sun, and it keeps water out, we get a more complete picture. If you're just told the features, you might be prompted to say, so what? When your members talk about your chapter, do they tell a unified story? The task of discovering your feature and benefits is simple. Divide a piece of paper in half, label the left side feature and the right side benefit. Now think of all the features your chapter has. Choose one and write it down. Now think about the benefit that feature offers and write that down on the right side of the paper. Every feature needs a benefit. If you don't supply the benefit, you allow the listener to have a so what reaction. Never offer just a feature. Your message requires the benefit too. In this sample, your feature is we meet on Tuesday night, and the benefit is so I can sing in my church choir on Wednesday. You might decide that your feature is our shows always have a matinee, and your benefit is that senior citizens never miss their dinner. That's features and benefits in a nutshell. A feature is something your chapter has, and the benefit is what it does for your customer, either a member or audience. It's time to practice. Take a few minutes and select 3 of your chapter features and the benefit that they offer your members or your audience. Now that you've finished your features and benefits for your chapter, let's zoom in on some of the reasons to include them. When your chapter agrees on their best features and benefits, you want to put it to use as soon as possible. You don't need everyone saying the same thing robotically, but you want all your members to speak of the chapter in the same terms, a unified message. As you were going through the exercise, you probably realized that some features only become benefits with use, or to put it another way, the benefit is not realized until you use the feature. This is another example of why your messaging requires both feature and benefit. You're working with an equation, and both sides of the equation must be included. As an example of just offering a feature, a job applicant might say, I'm a people person, as their feature. And the interviewer might think, oh, this person is a busybody and won't get any work done on time, If, on the other hand, the applicant said, "I'm a people person, and when I complete a project on time, I'm happy to help my coworkers with their projects." It is important to share the whole story. The feature and benefit concept leads your chapter to both written and verbal communication. Verbal communication is where your members help with your word-of-mouth advertising. The University of Washington conducted a study to determine the effects of communication both verbally and auditorily, and Paul Harvey shared that research.
Elizabeth Loftus, psychologist, University of Washington, from controlled laboratory studies has concluded that among the human senses, the ear is more significant than the eye. Individual with loss of sight, tested alongside subjects with loss of hearing, presented with a list of words visually and auditorily, and the words were remembered best by individuals who could hear the words rather than by those who could see them. In this respect, yes, she says, the ear is superior to the eye. When the eye takes in some picture or visual information, the image registers in iconic memory for 1 second, maybe 2. When the ear takes in the information, it fades away much more slowly, 4 to 5 seconds. A parallel study at Northwestern University compared television and radio. It concluded that if you deliver a verbal message about your shampoo, people are much more persuaded than if you give them only a picture of your product. And significant to us in advertising, people are much more persuaded to buy as a result of a verbal message. Marketing strategist Jack Trout says advertisers now spend 55% of their dollars on eye media and 45% on ear media, and he suggests they're doing it backward. Confucius is said to have said 1 picture is worth 1,000 words. And yet it's interesting, isn't it? What we remember about Confucius is not what he looked like, but what he said. Page 3.
For your messaging to be effective, you need to be concise, condensed, compelling, and consistent. When it comes to using your features and benefits, the sky is the limit. Use it in your verbal communication, on your answering machine, on your letterhead, part of your email signature, and wherever your imagination takes you.